We live in an era that celebrates constant connection above all else, yet many of us feel we are slowly suffocating under the weight of shallow interactions. Have you ever wondered why, as your thoughts expand and your understanding of the world grows, your social circle seems to naturally and quietly shrink every year? This reduction is not a sign of loneliness or social failure, but rather a conscious choice, a refined practice known as the art of high-value isolation today. When you stop seeking the noise of the crowd, you begin to hear the whispers of your own soul, leading you toward a path of true authenticity. The world demands our attention at every second, but high-value individuals know that the most important conversations happen in the profound silence of one's own company. Every step away from the trivial chatter is a step toward a deeper reservoir of wisdom that only exists far from the superficial distractions of modern society. Many fear the silence, seeing it as a void to be filled. But for the deep thinker, silence is the canvas upon which great ideas are painted. There is a certain dignity in choosing to stand alone, a strength that comes from being perfectly comfortable with the person you see in the mirror every day. Isolation is not an exile, but a sanctuary where the mind can finally rest and process the complexities of existence without the interference of outside opinions. When you reach a certain level of maturity, you realize that most social connections are merely transactions of time, often leaving your spirit feeling completely drained. By narrowing your circle, you are not closing yourself off to the world, but rather opening yourself up to the profound depths of your own internal universe. High-value isolation is about quality over quantity, choosing the depth of a single genuine connection over the shallow noise of 1,000 meaningless acquaintances in life. It takes courage to walk away from the warmth of the herd and embrace the cold, clear air of independence that comes with a truly deep mind. True intelligence often leads to a specific type of solitude, as the hunger for substance becomes far more important than the desire for simple social acceptance. Welcome to the journey of the self. Let us explore why those who think the most often choose to speak the least and walk their path alone. The deep thinker creates a filter for their life. This filter is not made of arrogance, but of a fundamental need for resonance in every single interaction. In the warmth of a quiet room, one realizes that the mind is a garden that requires protection from the weeds of triviality and useless social noise. When your intellect begins to graze upon the works of the greats, the standard of your daily conversations naturally shifts toward the pursuit of ultimate truth. Small talk becomes a burden because it never touches the soul. The deep thinker craves the meat of the matter, the core of the human experience itself. This is why many find themselves withdrawing. They are not antisocial, they are simply pro-depth, seeking the kind of connections that actually leave a lasting mark.
The social masks that people wear in groups become transparent to the observant eye, making the performance of typical social gatherings feel exhausting and largely unnecessary. Time is the most precious currency we have. To spend it on shallow engagements feels like a betrayal to the growth and development of our inner selves. We learn to value our own company because we find that our internal dialogue is often more rewarding than the external noise of the modern world's chaos. This filter of the mind serves to protect our energy, ensuring that we only open our inner sanctum to those who bring light rather than just noise. The more you know about yourself, the less you need others to tell you who you are. This self-reliance naturally leads to a smaller, more meaningful circle. Isolation becomes a luxury when you realize that most people are just echoes of each other,
while you are striving to find your own unique voice. The deep thinker seeks the soul's frequency. If the world outside is broadcasting on a channel of static, it is only logical to turn the radio off. By embracing the filter of high-value isolation, you are curating a life that is rich in substance, even if it appears empty to the outside observer. There is a peace that comes with this pruning of relationships. It is the peace of knowing that every person in your life truly belongs there. Complexity of thought requires space to breathe. When the room is crowded with too many voices, the most important ideas often find themselves drowned out completely. Choosing fewer friends is a strategy of the wise, ensuring that every bond is reinforced with mutual respect, shared values, and deep intellectual curiosity for life. We are not hiding from reality. We are simply choosing which reality we want to participate in, prioritizing the internal landscape over the external social spectacle. The silence of the room is not empty. It is full of potential. It is the breeding ground for the insights that will eventually change our lives. Every person we let into our lives carries a piece of our destiny. The deep thinker is simply very careful about who they trust with that power. When you stop performing for others, you finally have the energy to build for yourself. This is the foundation of a high-value, solitary life of purpose. True connection is rare, and the deep thinker knows that waiting for it is far better than settling for a shadow of the real thing today. The filter is now set. We move from the filter of thought to the fortress of the mind, where the real work of the soul begins. A fortress is not built to keep people out, but to protect the sacred fire that burns within the heart of every truly independent and deep thinker. Solitude is the workshop of greatness. In the absolute quiet of a rainy night, the most profound ideas find the fertile soil they need to grow. While the rest of the world seeks distraction from the storm, the deep thinker uses the isolation as fuel for their creative and intellectual fires today. Writing is the process of talking to oneself on paper. In solitude, this conversation becomes a powerful tool for self-discovery and architectural planning of the future. Every word written in the fortress of solitude is a brick in the wall of a new world, a world built on personal truth and vision. To create something of true value, one must first disconnect from the constant stream of collective consciousness that dictates how we should think and behave daily. High-value people understand that their best work requires a level of focus that is impossible to maintain in a world of constant social interruptions and noise. The warmth of the fire is a metaphor for the internal passion that drives the solitary soul, a fire that is tended to in the silence. Ideas are born, tested, and sometimes discarded in the fortress. This rigorous process is only possible when you are your own most demanding and honest judge.
The storm outside is a reflection of the chaos of the world. But inside the fortress, there is a controlled, focused peace that allows for clarity. He understands that to belong to himself, he must be willing to not belong anywhere else. This is the price of true intellectual and spiritual sovereignty. In the fortress, time does not follow the clock of the crowd. It follows the rhythm of insight and the pulse of deep, meaningful work and discovery. From the outside, it looks like isolation. From the inside, it is an expansive empire of the mind, where every thought is a citizen of a new kingdom. The work is done for the night, but the journey continues. The fortress provides the safety needed to dream bigger than the world ever thought possible. He is not hiding from his responsibilities. He is gathering the strength to fulfill them in a way that is authentic
and truly impactful to his world. Every moment of solitude is an investment in the self. It is the fuel that allows the deep thinker to burn brighter when they finally step out. Our shadows are often our only companions in the fortress, reminding us that even in our darkest moments, we are still connected to our own essence. Seconds turn into hours, and hours turn into insights. In the fortress, the quality of time is measured by the depth of the questions we dare ask. We are all explorers of our own internal geography. Solitude provides the map and the compass needed to navigate the most difficult terrains of the human heart. As the fire fades, the mind becomes even sharper, thriving in the cool, quiet air that precedes the dawn of a new understanding and a new day. These simple tools are the weapons of the mind. With them, the solitary thinker can dismantle old paradigms and build new ways of seeing the entire world. Patience is the hallmark of the fortress. Nothing of lasting value is built in a day, and nothing of depth is created in the company of the shallow. When the storm passes, only the strongest structures remain. The fortress of the mind is one such structure, built on the solid rock of self-knowledge and truth. The transition from work to rest is seamless in solitude. There is no social pressure to perform, only the natural rhythm of a life well lived. He is at home in the dark. He is at home in himself. The fortress has done its job, protecting the spark of genius until it is ready. The solitary path is difficult, but the view from the fortress is unparalleled. Now we move toward the absolute freedom of emotional sovereignty in our lives. True happiness for the deep thinker does not rely on the borrowed light of external attention. It is a self-sustaining flame fueled by emotional sovereignty. When you no longer need the crowd to tell you that you are valuable, you possess a power that few in this modern world will ever truly understand. Emotional sovereignty is the ability to maintain your inner state regardless of the chaos or the silence that surrounds you in the outside world every day. He has stopped asking for permission to be himself. He has stopped waiting for a round of applause that was never meant for his specific and unique journey. There is a majestic freedom in being misunderstood by those who do not share your depth. It means you are no longer bound by their limited expectations. In this state, you are the king of your own emotional landscape. Your joy is not a reaction to others, but a deliberate choice of your own spirit. High-value isolation teaches us that our worth is intrinsic. It cannot be given by a friend, and it cannot be taken away by a stranger's cold judgment. The higher we rise in our own understanding, the more we see that the noise below is just a distraction from the infinite beauty of the absolute truth. Like a shell polished by the sea, the solitary soul is refined by the currents of their own introspection, becoming something rare, beautiful, and incredibly resilient. He finds more connection with the cosmos than with the common gossip of the town. His scale of reference has shifted from the local to the universal. Letting go of the need for social validation is like letting go of a heavy weight you didn't even know you were carrying around your entire life. Most people's opinions are as fleeting as these waves. To build your identity on them is to build on sand. The sovereign mind builds on solid bedrock. The sovereignty of the self is the ultimate liberation. It is the realization that you are enough, exactly as you are, in the silence of the night. He is never alone when he is with himself. This is the secret that the world fears. For a person who enjoys their own company is uncontrollable. We find our own light when the external world goes dark. This inner light is steady, reliable, and completely independent of any social or cultural trends.
Every moment of self-acceptance is a victory. Every hour spent in comfortable solitude is a declaration of independence from the tyranny of the common and mundane. He carries the peace of the ocean back with him. It is not something he leaves behind. It is something he has become through his own quiet effort. The path of high-value isolation is marked by clarity and purpose. Each step is chosen, not followed. Each direction is decided by the internal compass of the soul. Freedom is found in the gaps between the expectations of others. In those gaps, the deep thinker builds a life that is truly and entirely their own. The world will try to pull you back, to tell you that you are missing out. But you know that the only thing you are missing is the noise. There are no borders in the mind of the sovereign. There are only infinite horizons to be explored and deep waters to be understood with quiet patience. He has found what he was looking for, not in a person, but in the space where a person usually expects to find someone else waiting for them. This is the absolute freedom. This is the sovereignty of the soul. It is the reward for the courage to be alone in a world of crowds. You are the captain of your own ship, the master of your own silence, and the architect of your own joy in this beautiful, solitary life. But this freedom comes with a cost. Now let us examine the price of authenticity and why the world often fears the man who stands alone. The world may call you eccentric, cold, or even arrogant, but that is simply the price you pay for the preservation of your own authentic spirit today. To the shallow mind, depth looks like a threat. To the person who needs constant noise, your silence feels like a judgment they cannot fully comprehend. The deep thinker chooses an honest loneliness over a dishonest connection. They would rather stand in the cold truth than sit by a fire built on lies. Authenticity is like this flower. It is rare, it is difficult, and it grows in places where others see only barren stone and impossible, cold conditions. Being in the world, but not of it, is the ultimate challenge. It requires a heart that is anchored in its own truth, regardless of the surroundings. The cost of your evolution is your previous social life. Many will not understand your change, and many will be left behind as you move forward. Do not apologize for your growth. The people who are meant to be in your life will recognize your frequency and meet you at your new level. We honor the past, but we do not live there. The deep thinker knows that some bridges must be burned to light the way toward a better future. Isolation is a filter that keeps the poison out. It ensures that only those who truly value the essence of your soul are allowed to remain close. Your influence is not measured by how many people know your name, but by the depth of the impact you have on the few you choose. The world loves complexity and noise, but the deep thinker finds the ultimate sophistication in simplicity and the power of the singular, focused, and honest life. The price of being real is high, but the price of being fake is much higher. It costs you your soul and your sense of self-worth. Society will try to mold you into a shape that fits its needs. The solitary thinker refuses the mold, choosing instead to be an unshaped, raw force. When you finally become your own best friend, you realize that the world's rejection
was actually a form of protection, keeping you on your own path. The speed of the world does not dictate the speed of your soul. You are allowed to sit still while everything else is rushing toward nothingness. Honest solitude is a sanctuary for the truth. It is where we admit who we are, what we want, and what we will no longer tolerate. He is going back to the source. He is going back to the place where the noise cannot reach, where the only voice is the one within. Some might call it a lonely life, but to the deep thinker, it is a life of incredible richness, filled with the textures of real, deep existence. The highest peaks are always the most solitary. If you want to see the furthest, you must be willing to stand where the crowd cannot follow. One small light of authenticity is more powerful than 1,000 suns of social pretense. It is enough to guide you through the darkest of times. We do not seek to be different for the sake of being different. We seek to be real for the sake of our own survival. In the stillness, we find the reflection of the eternal. This is why we choose the isolation. It is the only mirror that does not lie. The wait for a kindred spirit may be long, but a single conversation with a soul that understands you is worth 1,000 years of solitude. You are not missing out on life. You are finally living it, on your own terms, with your own values, and with your own beautiful heart. The price has been paid. The fortress is built. The sovereignty is established. Now, we return to the kingdom of the inner self for the dawn. Do not fear the solitude. Embrace it as your own kingdom, for it is within this sacred space that you will finally find your true self. The night of searching is over. The fire of the mind has been tempered by the silence, and the light of understanding has finally begun to break. Walking toward the light does not mean returning to the noise. It means carrying your inner silence into the world with a new sense of power. The art of isolation is not about running away from life, but about running toward the very essence of what it means to be truly alive. The universe is contained within the individual. When you master your own solitude, you master the world, for the world no longer has power over you. Every breath is a reminder of your own existence, independent and free. You are the architect of your own peace and the guardian of your soul. You have built a kingdom within yourself that no one can invade. This is the highest value a human being can ever hope to achieve today. The solitary spirit is like a bird that has found its wings. It no longer needs the ground to feel safe. It belongs to the infinite sky. Everything is clear now. The path you have chosen is the path of the few, but it is the only path that leads to the true home. We find connection in the essence, not the appearance. We find love in the depth, not the surface. We find ourselves in the quiet, holy silence. High-value isolation is the ultimate gift you can give to yourself. It is the gift of space, of time, and of profound, life-changing self-discovery and growth. Thank you for taking this journey with us. May you find the courage to walk your own path and build your own kingdom in the silence. The world is waiting for those who have the strength to be alone, not to hide, but to shine with a light that is entirely their own. Remember, you are never alone when you are with your true self. The art of isolation is the art of finally and truly coming home today. May your solitude be your sanctuary. and may your thoughts be your most loyal friends. Farewell, and find your peace in the quiet of the morning.